With what seems to be the final episode of JJK Season 3, ended with a 27-minute long episode featuring Utah's fight in the Sendai colony. This, in my opinion, and many others, is the greatest episode of Jujutsu Kaisen to ever come out. They picked up the pace for this episode quick because there is not a single dull moment in the entire 27-minute run. And as I was seeing all the discourse online about how incredible the episode was, I really started thinking to myself about if there really was any other anime or manga that was really on the same level as JJK. And just to clear up, no, I don't mean in terms of writing. Like, no offense to JJK, it's a good show and all, but I can think of 20 different animes or mangas that have better writing. What I meant to say was, is there any other anime that has the same levels of anticipation for an episode to release like JJK? Now, of course, that seems kind of dumb because, of course, there are going to be anticipated episodes in an anime, but it just seems like every other fight in this show is very anticipated. Usually, most animation studios have a budget and they have to decide rationally on what episodes to spend their budget on. They'd most likely want to save their animation capabilities for higher stake fights, probably with the main villain or a season finale. This, however, causes a sort of fluctuation between the high and low stakes episodes, which you can even see in JJK. JJK doesn't give their animation studio a chance to budget their anime, as every single fight in JJK post season 1 is a high stake battle, and the list is stacked. I really do believe season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen alone could rival a lot of anime's fight catalogs. This is all due to the production company that was assigned to animate JJK being MAPPA, who are able to hire the most skilled freelancers in the industry to animate on these episodes. But besides all the animation and hype as, that's all JJK is really nowadays, I wanted to talk about how it got to this popularity and how it came to be. Now, I think it's pretty clear to see that out of the 6 years that JJK's manga and anime has been running, 2023 was the year that catapulted JJK into this global stardom. Now, of course, they didn't just go from 0 to 100 in a single year. I do think the anime's release in 2020 and the Utah movie in 2022 helped set up the base for it, but 2023 was that year because both the anime and the manga were at its peak. Of course, this is with the anime releasing the highly awaited Hidden Inventory arc, which delves deeper into Gojo and Geto's backstory, which was then followed up by another highly demanded arc being the Shibuya arc. However, not only was the anime on fire, but the manga as well, with the most highly anticipated fight in JJK about to start, with it being Gojo versus Sukuna. And I mean, this was the apex of JJK. Two of the greatest sorcerers of all time were about to fight, and Gege has been building this up since the first chapter of JJK. The fight was showcased weekly, and every single week discussions were held on who won that certain chapter. And I think the reason why those discussions were so amazing was because JJK isn't necessarily about brute strength. Now, that goes without saying, Gojo and Sukuna are clearly at the top of the power chain within JJK, but every single move they made had to be calculated. It was very entertaining watching two of the best sorcerers try to outsmart each other. That also goes with saying cursed energy isn't really determined by strength, but rather how one can control and apply their energy to different scenarios. They were both incredibly gifted sorcerers, but were also very knowledgeable about their capabilities and limitations of their techniques. This was essentially a game of blitz chess with cursed energy, and that's probably why it was so enticing to people like me. The fight between Gojo and Sukuna started in chapter 223 that released on the 21st of May, and ended in chapter 256 on the 25th of September following the death of Satoru Gojo. Coincidentally, season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen began airing on the 6th of July and ended on the 28th of December. So for a few months, a rare phenomenon occurred where both the manga and the anime were both airing at the same time. Similar to how Blue Lock synchronized their airing to match the 2022 World Cup and benefited from Japan's success in the World Cup group stages. And with both the manga and the anime just being so good at that time, it was just an easy win for JJK in terms of bringing new people to the show. I'm not too sure if they were just lucky or they probably timed it, but the fact that the anime was producing movie level episodes weekly and the manga was unraveling one of the most anticipated fights in shonen history, the level of engagement JJK reached will probably never be replicated. Now, JJK got really lucky, like I can't stress this enough. Most anime mangas also do peak in both their anime and manga. It's not like JJK is the best thing ever, but the fact that they peaked simultaneously pushed the show into another level. It's very rare for both the anime and manga to peak at the exact same time. So to answer my own question, I think probably not, because JJK isn't necessarily unmatched in terms of writing and quality, but its timing is what sets it apart from others.